Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Business Over Breakfast. I'm Ben Barber. This
Lori
is the
Giuttari. Hey,
always
good
wonderful
morning.
Lori Giuttari. Hey, Lori, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you. Good. How are you?
I'm
Wonderful, Ben.
I'm okay right now,
Yeah.
which is enough to be grateful for at any given moment.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's funny, because we're like on camera and we're out here talking to everybody, and we really want everyone to like bring their questions and have conversation. But we know, as everybody else probably does, everyone is dealing with all sorts of different stuff. Like I'm down here in Florida taking care of my mom, and you're in Rhode Island waiting for some spring sunshine and peace to come along.
That is definitely the goal there.
Yeah.
So we are doing a little bit of a different format today, which is a Q&A. And basically, if you have questions and you would like them answered, Lori is she is a master coach. She is the CMO of Visual Thrive and COO of Visual Thrive, which is a media marketing agency, social media marketing agency. In the grand scheme of things, you guys do everything though. And also the co-creator of shoplocalrhodeisland.com. So if you guys have questions,
bring it.
Please ask them. I have some questions that came in from the various accounts that we put out asking for questions beforehand.
Nice.
Do you have any that you'd like to start with, or I'll?
No, but I was thinking I wanted to start with a question for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Is this the surprise?
Huh? Oh, no, let me start with the surprise. So I'm doing the surprise on camera because you haven't seen it yet. And it's so silly and stupid, but I made our own coffee mug with a Sharpie this morning. And I thought that we would get a kick out of that because we keep saying we need coffee mugs, and I had this plain white coffee mug with nothing to show. So I'm like, you know what? I got 2 Sharpies here. I'm going to make a mug for us. So there you go.
I still have a coffee mug over on the bench that I put stuff when I first walk into my room and I don't know what to do with it. I still have a coffee mug that I bought specifically to use on these shows. So I think that, Ed Brady said, Brady,
Thank you.
Brady said, love that.
Thank you.
So that's amazing. I can't wait to, we should buy real coffee mugs, but no, you know what? We should buy real coffee mugs of that coffee mug.
This coffee mug? This is like the kindergarten level coffee mug.
Yeah, I love it. Hold on.
But it does have a sunshine, which is what we're all hoping for. And
that's great.
Yeah, I only had a red and green Sharpie just sitting here in my mom's desk.
Someone else commented that mug is genius. I love it. Great. So, all right, where is the questions that I have?
Yeah. Okay. So, you know what? Before you start the questions, I'm going to say, so I have a question for you. So you did a great intro for me. And yes, I'm a master coach and I run a marketing agency. And actually today we are onboarding 2 new employees. So we're growing because we're getting ready for some big stuff coming up. But this is Ben Barber. And I remember you putting a call out on Facebook about benbarber.com. And Ben Barber is producer extraordinaire. I know you do acting. I know you do music. Don't be so humble. And I just want to give you the floor. I'm going to ask you the first Business Over Breakfast question, which is, tell us the name of your company and the story about what you do. So we're going to start with that question this morning, Mr. Barber.
Sure. So the name of the company is D&B Media, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. 16 years ago, my best friend and I, while we were still in high school, I was a senior in high school. He was a junior. We loved theater and we wanted to start a theater company and produce our own shows. So we did that. His dad was the theater teacher and musical director at Westerly High School for 30 something years. And so he knew, so Dave knew how to put together shows and stuff, and I wanted to do the creative end of things, and he's ridiculously talented, so we started doing that. We kept a community theater for a little while. We both went to school in New York for acting at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. When we came home, he went to get a degree in audio and visual, technical degree. And then we started to use that we had always made movies and stuff, and then we started to use that as a videography business. We started to do podcasts for clients, and that was 8 years ago now, the podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we started to do those. We did live event filming. I started a children's theater called Theater Scrapbook. That is still going strong under the direction of Dave's sister, and that goes into local schools that don't have arts programs and gives them a free after-school theater program.
That's awesome.
Musical theater program, and that has expanded outside of Westerly to we used to do one show a year, and I think that right now in non-COVID time, she's doing something like 14 or 15 shows a year in different locations. So that's doing amazing. And then, yeah, we started doing podcasts with clients that were all over the country and all over the world. And then when the pandemic hit, people needed to know how to do things remotely.
Right.
So I became a couple people's first calls. I was already doing podcasts and marketing for Mesquamacut Beach, which is one of the biggest tourist destinations in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And the executive director of Mesquamacut Beach is also a town councilman, and was like, "Hey, I need to get the lieutenant governor on the show. I'm going live every night to give Westerly updates about COVID. So I need to get, I'm going to mute you for a second, Laura. So I need to get the lieutenant governor on the show so he can answer some questions to the people that are concerned about their businesses and whatnot." That ended up one thing after another. We went live every night. The now governor, McKee, asked me to start producing some shows for him. I ended up working on a presidential campaign last year, several congressional campaigns. I ended up producing the election night special for the Democratic Party for Rhode Island. Various conferences. I hosted the 5 days and produced and did everything by myself for 5 days of the Washington County Fair. And now we work with nonprofits, organizations, 4 different churches. We have marketing clients that we do the social media marketing for, and consulting, and a whole mess of stuff.
I'm unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah,
I realized that Tuesday morning, now I know when I'm in Florida, Tuesday morning is going to be grass cutting morning. So I need to find a new location. Oh man. All right.
So that is the
so I
very
say
long-winded
producer extraordinaire, and you went, no. All right, let's jump in and see what kind of questions we got going.
All right. So the first question that I have was, I have a local brick and mortar store. What social media platforms do you think would work to best advertise my business?
All right, ask it again.
Okay. I have a local brick and mortar store. What social media platforms do you think would work best to advertise my business?
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's an easy one. There's feedback, right? Am I getting some?
I don't.
No, you're good?
Are you good?
Yeah, now I am actually. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, so I always look at, and we're both going to answer these, right? So we might have different answers. But what I would say to a client is, you have a brick and mortar store, which means you want people walking in the door or doing curbside pickup, or you're delivering. today. Mostly you want people walking in the door. So we look at that as a B2C, a business selling directly to the customer, not a business selling to a business. And so I think that some of the platforms for that are Facebook, Instagram, and you are the TikTok guy. So I would say TikTok, it's kind of fun, but I must say that so Ben and I have an age difference, if you guys haven't noticed that. So for me, I love TikTok, but I feel like if I just keep seeing little TikTok videos, I'm like, all right, I just, I kind of get fed up with it unless I'm really like browsing around. So the work that we do at Visual Thrive is we really focus on like telling the business's story day after day after day. So from Visual Thrive perspective, would say Facebook, Instagram, get amazing photos of the owners, of what's going on behind the scenes, give people some insight into the people that are in your business and the people that you love and want to lift up within your business. Show your happy customers, show the stuff that goes on about small business, especially brick and mortar, because that is a heart-driven business. And so I say the best platforms is Facebook, Instagram, and we see different age dynamics on either of those. You probably know Facebook is an older age group that may have more money than the Instagram group. So you want to get both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that so the key here is that you're local, right? You're local and you're brick and mortar. So you have a location that you want people to go in. If you are in Rhode Island, you should be on shoplocalrhodeisland.com to expand your online footprint.
I should have said
that. But I think I agree completely. It's Facebook and Instagram first. Those are, especially in 2021, especially in Rhode Island, especially with, I don't know, they didn't specify what kind of store that they have, but, Facebook and Instagram first. I would say that TikTok has a lot of undervalued attention. If you are B2C, which I assume you are, if you're a brick and mortar. So if you are B2C, TikTok is still great for you, and they are localizing more. So if you do things like use hashtag 401, like hashtag Rhode Island, stuff like that.
I get a great one too. Hashtag shop local Rhode Island spelled out. If you use that hashtag, whatever you post on Instagram will also be posted on the Shop Local Rhode Island website. So it has a streaming hashtag.
I didn't know that.
Photo.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic news. Thank you, Lori, for that. But I would say that what Lori just said, it's Facebook and Instagram and telling your stories, right? So that kind of leads us into our second question, which is what type of content is most effective to get attention? So if you are one of those businesses, if you are a brick and mortar store, or even if you're not, but if you're a localized store, which a lot of what we deal with are with Shop Local Rhode Island and what it's just who is around for marketing. Facebook and Instagram is great. And Instagram right now is pushing a TikTok competitor called Instagram Reels. And if you are not using Instagram Reels, they are 30-second videos that are fun. If you're familiar with TikTok, it's essentially TikTok, but it's 30 seconds. It has creator tools in it so that you can use different fun elements. You can use music. You can use different things. If you are not, so I want to get to the storytelling in a second, but right now, a lot of attention in the Instagram algorithm is going towards Reels. You can post a Reel and not have a lot of followers and use the right hashtags and the right creative and get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. So,
hey, I get a question for you on that. So
sure.
I feel like Facebook bought Instagram, and then they started with, you have to do Instagram stories. And then Facebook said, well, look, we're going to do stories too. So now you can post on Instagram stories and Facebook stories, and we have all the analytics around that. And then Instagram kind of said, oh, okay, yeah, now we're going to do reels. So they went from the stories into the video on the reels. And now, as an agency that's doing this work all the time, and thankfully I have social media experts doing it. So as the CMO, I kind of like focus on where the business is going, how we market the business. But our social media experts are dealing with this kind of fast change all the time. And I'd love to hear what you think about just like, if you're going to a client, we always say consistency in marketing. So we hit social media every other day on the main social media platforms, no matter what. We have original photos, original content. We do research on competitors, all of that. That's like the standard. But then you get into the stories and the reels and TikTok and all this other fun stuff. Like, what do you think about Instagram? Do you think they're just testing and trying these different things to see like what's going to really pop?
So I think to a point, yes. Instagram stories and now stories is just a feature that every social media has, essentially. Instagram stories were made for one purpose. They saw what Snapchat was doing and they wanted to kill it. They wanted to take it and kill it. And for a long time they did, right? So Instagram stories are fantastic. A lot of the, we have there's a client that is a grocery store that they're like a specialty food store, and their Instagram looks like a uh looks like a gallery, right? Like it's gorgeous. It's all gorgeous food photos. But sometimes they have announcements that they need to make. Sometimes they have I really encourage people to make fun content to engage people.
Yeah.
And don't just try to sell your stuff all the time, because nobody wants to be sold to.
But again, that's Instagram. So we're putting LinkedIn over on the side.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
This is not LinkedIn for a second. So, as far as Instagram goes, the Instagram stories, like if you're a burger place, taking your phone out and pointing it at the grill and getting that moment where you put cheese on a burger and watch it melt for a second, that going on your Instagram story, every other day, a different version of that with a different burger, with a different type of cheese, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That repetitive content, but great content, that like visceral reaction of like, damn, that burger looks good.
Ben, you know what? That's it. It's so what are the things that bring that visceral, like, oh, that's good, like, or music does that too. Like if you have like pop, like I love our music in the morning, it's like whistling, it makes you like, okay, but that's the reaction, right? So it's all those things where the viewer or the customer is going to look at it and be like, oh, that's amazing. Like it's the emotion. Yeah.
Yeah. So people go on to their Instagram and Facebook stories, but mainly Instagram. I know for me, I don't look at Facebook stories anywhere near as much
I don't either
as Instagram stories, but you go into Instagram and they're all just those little circles at the top, and you hit it and you have, one after another, after another, after another. It becomes your feed, and it becomes a great way to watch that. So be entertaining and and it's also a great place to share your post from your main feed to your Instagram story. So, and like say new post, or so if it's longer, if there's a bunch of copy under it, you can say new post or long video, and then they can click it and see their long video, or you can just leave it as a standalone story. Either is great, but stories, you should be doing stories throughout the day, every day, which I am terrible at.
I think the other thing that this customer might want to think about too, you said those little circles. I call them chapters. I don't know what they're called. So, but if if you post something, like if you're making burgers, right, but you do all this other stuff, you could have like a little chapter that's just burgers. And so anything that you post, you can pull down into that highlight. They're called highlights. Into that highlight, and then someone can look at, oh, the cheeseburger, the mushroom burger, the jalapeno burger, and they can kind of flip through and be like, man, this place has, and then you can do salads, and then you can do shakes, and then, so you can kind of look at your business like that.
Those are called highlights. So when you go to a page, when you go to an Instagram page specifically, you can save highlights of your stories, and then you can save those and archive them so that people can see them, and you can categorize them, as Lori just said.
I like that.
Reels are essentially the exact same thing as TikTok. So there is no reason to not make a video and then put it on both and see what, and like, if you have a B2C business, or if you have a B2B too, but if you have a B2C business, if you have a business in general, like, there is no reason to not try this stuff. If you are local, a brick and mortar, and you only sell to local people, try it for a week. Go on YouTube and look at videos of how to post. If you don't have, we have another question here. That is, we don't have a lot of money for advertising. How do we raise awareness without having ads? This is how. Figure out how to post organically and get attention. That's number one. Like, figure out your posting. Go ahead.
Okay, that's number one. And when you post organically, make sure that what you're posting actually aligns with what you want to have happening in your business. So if you're an ice cream shop, don't be, posting like, hey, we're heading out to happy hour, because that doesn't align with your business. Post about what's happening in your business, the people that are in your business. So, okay, that's number one, but keep it aligned to your business strategy.
Mm-hmm. If you are an ice cream shop, absolutely. Post to what keeps in line with your strategy. That's unless there is some demonstrative value to doing something else with that, right? So if you want to take a photo of all of your employees at happy hour and make it contextual to it, and say like, oh, I love hanging out, group bonding or something, and everybody's or like, we love our team, that's a different story. But you have to think about the contextual. You can share different stuff if you want to share different stuff, but it should be contextual to what you do in some way, especially if you were a local brick and mortar, like we've been talking about.
One of the things that Visual Thrive does when we go and talk to groups, so we do, and it's on our website, you can look it up on Visual Thrive, Social Media 101. It's a video. It's a kind of a bad video, but it has all the stuff in it that we're talking about. But the one of the things we do is we look at the Instagram page of a company, and we just take screenshots, and we'll go and say, okay, without knowing the name of this company, you're looking at their Instagram page. What does this company do? And if the viewer can look at it and say, oh, simple, this company does X, or I can't figure out what this company does. One, I have the best slide of a law firm that has like the craziest photos ever, and nobody will ever guess that it's a law firm, because there's nothing on their social media communication that says we are amazing at the work we do. So that's the alignment. Just look at all the photos on your Instagram page in one fell swoop and be like, does this actually reflect my company?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to come back to that in a second, because I have something for that. But I just want to say the second thing for content, right, for how to get attention, if you have no money, is, like we said, those hashtags. There are yes, using hashtags can get you attention because it will pop up on people that follow that hashtag's feed, and all of that is wonderful. But what you should do if you have no money, but you have time, and if you like whatever amount of time that you have, if you are a small business in Cranston, Rhode Island, then you should, and you have no money, then you should go on Instagram and you should type in hashtag CranstonRI, and then you should look at everything that comes up and leave comments on every single thing that appeals to you, not with a, hey, come buy my ice cream, but with a genuine what you think about that thing. So if you type in Cranston RI and somebody posts something about the local soccer team winning a game, you can say congratulations to them. As your business, you can say congratulations to them. If there's a photographer in Cranston who posted a beautiful shot of Narragansett Bay, you can say that is such a gorgeous photo. I love it. I love your work. Definitely following you. These little micro interactions over and over and over again will connect you with people, like literally one by one. And that is worth it. That is completely worth it.
Ben, it's so interesting. I can't believe it's 9:30 right now.
Oh my God.
I know. We did what? 2 questions. The other thing that I'm thinking when you say that is, you're in Cranston, so that's kind of like your close network. And when I do business coaching for businesses, I look at it in the network of concentric circles. And so it's what's your closest market, and then what's the next market, what's the next, and use your network and kind of expand your network in that way. So that idea of that, like geo tag, it's not a geotag, but like tagging your close space, and even tagging your post to where you are, so that everybody knows, like, oh yeah, that's on Broad Street in Cranston. And on shoplocalrhodeisland.com, we have a map. So people, if you put your location in there, people can expand the map and just look, like, what's in my neighborhood? What small businesses are there? So yeah, taking a half day to just really review where you are and what you're doing is worth it.
Last thing for me, the content that you were saying, what to post. If you're a lawyer, posting photos exclusively of happy hour and your son's baseball game and stuff exclusively is not great. If you're a lawyer and you're a personal brand, not if you're a law firm, although that might work too, but if you're a personal brand of a lawyer or something, then or even not, we have there's a Kia dealership right now that I'm working with another client, and my thesis for this is give valuable information and teach people how not to use you. So right now we're doing something that is service tips of the week and car tips of the week, and it's the premise is, hey, let's teach you how.
Wait, this sounds kind of weird because that's like what we're actually doing right now.
Yes. Hey, let's teach you how to not use us. Let's teach you how to keep your car on the road so that you come into the service department less often. Now, that does 2 things. Number one, it's genuinely just a really good thing to do as a human being, right? Or as a collective of people. It's a good thing to do to help people. There's the pure altruistic motive behind that. Number 2, you are now the expert, because the fact of the matter is that tires are still going to go flat. Belts are still going to break. Brakes are still going to need work done on. And who are those people? People are still going to buy cars, right? They need to buy cars. They need to. When you are a parent of a 17-year-old and you need to buy a used car because you're sick of sharing one, you're going to remember that this dealership, this local dealership, yes, you might remember the jingle on the radio, but if you remember that, hey, I keep seeing this dealership and they're all really friendly and they have salespeople that are teaching us how to buy a car and not pick a lemon, or how to get the best deal on a car, or when is the best time to buy a car, or how to check your tire pressure to make sure that you don't go flat, or the reason that you need to add air in the winter, those things are going to all add value. And when you're in a small community, like anywhere in Rhode Island, I mean, the state is 40 miles wide,
the
or north
community
to
of Rhode
south.
Island.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you do that, then you are becoming a trusted person. You are becoming a thought leader. You are becoming someone who is helpful, and the benefits of that are going to come back 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
Explain to people how you do things.
Well, and I think this is one of the reasons why you and I do this show, because there's a mentality. This goes back to coaching concepts, right? But there's a mentality around abundance and there's mentality around scarcity. So if you're going to operate your business based on, oh, it's just mine, I'm not going to share it, I'm not going to tell anybody about what I'm doing, or I need to get everything, that's scarcity. That's bullshit. Oh, sorry. Can I say that? And then the abundance piece, which is what we gravitate to, is, you know what? There is really enough for everybody. So let's just make sure that everybody gets what they need and everybody can rise up. That doesn't mean we give it all away. It just means the information is out there. Get it from the people that you want to get it from and that you trust. And then they become your trusted advisors.
Absolutely. We got one more question. This is from someone in Richmond, Rhode Island. She just said, one thing I'd love to know are your thoughts on non-social media marketing for a small business that doesn't have a brick and mortar presence. I run a small travel agency out of my home, and 4 years in, I still rely 100% on social media and referrals. I am on shoplocalrhodeisland.com, of course, smiley face.
Yay. You want to start it?
Yeah. So if you run a travel agency out of your home, I mean, I think that social media is the main place to start. It's the most cost effective for you, for sure. I think that if you want to, I don't have a lot of answers for this question, honestly. You're non-brick and mortar, right? So that means that all of your income is coming in online, right? All of your business is being done online. So social media is the currency. It is where people spend 99% of their attention online, is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I would say that this would be a great question to have a LinkedIn strategy, because people on LinkedIn, while you are doing B2C, people on LinkedIn are most likely going to have more money and be thinking about things like that. And you can target people that want to get away. You can target professionals that want to take vacations. So I would say keep going social media, but spend money on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Go to LinkedIn.
Well, and I think you also want to decide, this happens with sole proprietors a lot that work at home. So are you the brand? You're getting referrals. So people are referring to you as their trusted advisor. And that's that concentric circle. So you have a network of people that you've already served well because they're referring you. So always keep that group in the know about what's going on, and always ask them to share your information. So again, this may sound a little old school from the social media, but I love the idea of having an email to people. So you don't have to spend money on constant contact, or if you have, you could do a BCC email to 100 people if you're just like, I'm not doing constant contact, but keeping them up to date about, hey, these specials are happening once a month, because people are always, you just don't know if there are 5 people out of 100 that are like, oh shoot, I was just thinking about going, planning a trip, and hey, here's this special. So you have that's like your first network. Another thing that I see our clients do is they spend money on local advertising. So again, it depends on what your overall marketing budget might be. So you could say most of my clients come from the east side of Providence, let's say. And so, oh, well, Providence Monthly has a really nice flyer magazine that everybody looks at. And I don't know what their prices are, but you can start looking like, oh, maybe I do have $100. I don't know what it is, but let's say $100 a month extra. So you can think about just this idea of planting seeds all over the place in a consistent way is really a great start.
Now that I'm thinking, oh, go ahead.
No. And then the other thing is, of course, I'm guessing you have a website. If you don't have a website, like, you got to get a website, and you have to, tell people who you are. A lot of times I see sole proprietors say, this is my business. I do this thing over here. But if you're a sole proprietor, honestly, people want to see your face. So get photos of yourself, nice photos. They can be outside hiking, they can be at your desk, whatever they are, but let people see who you are, own it, take up your authority, be you, do your thing, like you got this. And there are so many different ways to plant those seeds. And sometimes those seeds don't even come to fruition for 2 years. But if you consistently are doing the thing that you do and doing it well and asking, it's funny, I'm thinking, because I have a list of 100 things to do to find new clients. And I'm going to put that in maybe next week, the Shop Local Rhode Island newsletter, which we send out every week. And we try and give updates and ideas about things. So those seeds are super important.
I would start a blog. If you don't have a blog on your website, that would be amazing for SEO. And you can share it on social media. And especially on LinkedIn, you can use it as articles on LinkedIn. But then also, this will save you some money. I want you to start a blog. I want you to contact every single newspaper, every single magazine in Rhode Island that does every single, So Rhode Island magazine, Providence, all of them, any magazine that you can think of in Rhode Island. I want you to start a blog. I want you to post those on Instagram, on everywhere. Post them on Instagram and Facebook as posts. Post them on LinkedIn as articles, and then contact every single one of those magazines and ask them if you can and newspapers, and ask them if you can submit your articles, your blogs as articles to their sites, to their magazines. Even unpaid, they don't have to pay you to write articles for them.
Yeah, but there you are, becoming the expert.
And then there you are writing all of these things about travel, about where to travel, about how to travel, about your own experiences, about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Then you bring value to people, you get a ton of exposure, you're out of just social media, you're into all of these brick and mortar stores that carry these free magazines. I mean, I think writing, if you are a good writer, that is the way to do that. Lori, I'm so sorry. One more question that Steve asked. It's very simple, and it's the one that we end with anyway. What's next for Shop Local Rhode Island?
Oh my God, Steve, that's such a great question. So what's coming next for Shop Local Rhode Island, as you probably know, is the Rhode Island Marketplace. And that is all I'm going to say, because last week we had a full team meeting on our rollout strategy, and it has been, it's been a big learning experience. And I just say sign up on Shop Local Rhode Island. Actually, we're looking for a group of businesses to be our first testers on the site. So if you are a Rhode Island business and you're on Shop Local, you can contact me directly, Lori at Visual Thrive. But it's coming.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah. Hey, Ben. Yeah. I know. Can I say one more thing to our audience?
Absolutely.
Ben and I have given you a huge amount of information. So we know that you're probably like, oh yeah, easy for you to say, do this, do that, do this. So I want to just say to everybody, if you if you just sit down and say, this month I'm going to do this thing, next month I'm going to do the next thing, they said. So, I mean, I feel like, of course, this is why people hire us, but we want you to just set up a plan. I love the calendar. I work by the calendar. So if you just do one different thing a week and just see what works. Ben, this was fun. I want to do this again.
Absolutely. Me too. And thank you, Steve, who said exciting stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ben and Lori, Shop Local Rhode Island.
Super exciting.
To the marketing place. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Check out visualthrive.com. If you have questions, you can message me wherever this is, if you would like to talk to me, or vice versa. Whichever.
Yeah. And sometimes Ben and I chat on Clubhouse too, so you can find us there.
That's a whole different, let's do an entire episode.
Let's do a different one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Right,
thank
Ben,
you, Lori.
You're so week. Awesome. Have a great day.
You are as well. Thank you. I'm trying to find them. I have way too many videos on here now. 3, 2, 1.